Grab your glass and pull up a chair. It's time for your favorite girls' night in.
Welcome to Pouring in Parenting. We're your besties, Sil and Inish.
We're here to laugh through the chaos. Hello, Pores. Let's start the show.
So we are days away from the Super Bowl. Did your team make it? Inish, who is your team?
The Atlanta Falcons, they did not make it, in case anyone was wondering.
Same. And we are actually in the same division. I am a
Mhm.
New Orleans Saints fan. And no, we didn't make it either. It was this very depressing season. We didn't end on a bad note. The future looks somewhat good, hopefully, but the season was shit. Oh,
Yeah,
it was really bad.
yeah, yeah, it is.
Yeah. So let's talk about this last weekend. And no, we're not turning into a sports podcast, but because Super Bowl is just days away, why not talk about it? So this past weekend, we had the Patriots at Broncos. It was 10-7, super close, kind of a boring game, but ultimately Patriots won. They are on their way to Super Bowl. The other game was the Rams at Seahawks, where the score was 27-31. Seahawks won. Also a close game. Sorry, Rams.
Mm,
You didn't make it.
yeah.
But we have now a Super Bowl with the Patriots and the Seahawks. It's a tough one. Clearly, neither of those are my teams. I guess I'm just going to hope for a good game, good commercials, and especially a good halftime show. What do you
Yes.
think, Anish? Are you going for anyone in particular?
No, I'm not going for anyone in particular. I don't care who wins. I don't care.
Okay, do you have Super Bowl plans?
No plans. I'm pondering about inviting some friends over and doing like a couples thing, but Super Bowl has always been a last minute thing. It's never been really too big, I guess. But I am willing to host. I am willing to host. My sons are actually excited to watch it. The oldest wants to go to the Super Bowl and kept demanding and was really confused as to why we weren't going to the Super Bowl. I'm like, boy, no, it's a good, sir. But so that's one of the main reasons why I've been thinking that perhaps we should host and make a party out of it at the house. What about you? You have plans?
Um, Not yet. So we have a couple of different family members who are Patriots fans. So I am expecting an invitation from one of them if they decide to host a Super Bowl party. I don't mind hosting either. All my family knows I definitely don't mind hosting, but none of my teams and my heart's not really in it for a Super Bowl. But I mean, if people want to come over, hey, why not? Of course, we can't forget about our pours for the day. Niche, what did you pour in your glass?
I made my first ever margarita. Real simple, nothing crazy. Just a good old fashioned margarita on the rock,
I like it.
right?
Nice.
What did you pour?
Okay. So more of opened today. I had a truly unruly can in my fridge, tropical twist. I was scared it was going to taste like mango, but no, it's more of a pineapple orangey flavor. So it's pretty decent.
Sounds good. Never heard of a truly unruly. Is that like a higher alcohol content? Wondering.
So it's 8%.
Okay.
So I'm assuming
Yeah.
it's a little bit higher. I can't remember what are the other ones like six,
I think they're like
7?
5 or 6, maybe.
Oh, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, yay! Cheers! Ding! All right. Today we're diving into controversial events from the football field to social media and everything else in between. So, starting off with the biggest controversy in our current day at this moment is the Bonito Bowl. Now, what is the Bonito Bowl? Well, it is what they are calling Bad Bunny's halftime Super Bowl performance. So it is a nationwide controversy that he is headlining the Super Bowl. Anish, do you know who Bad Bunny is?
Yes, I know who Bad Bunny is. He is he a singer or a rapper? Singer
He's
slash rapper?
like a bit of both. Yeah.
I know he's an actor. I've seen him in several TV shows bringing, making cameos. So, yes.
Oh, yeah. I think he was like really funny on SNL. I don't watch it often, but I want to say that one of the episodes I watched, he was in it and he was pretty funny.
Okay.
But for those of you who don't know, Bad Bunny is a Latin trap artist. He's globally one of the most streamed artists from 2020 to 2, and then again in 2025. And yes, he's not just an artist, a music artist, but also in fashion and in movies and shows as well. Now, the controversy behind Bad Bunny is he is a Puerto Rican rapper. trap artist. His songs are in Spanish, and he is to headline the Super Bowl. So clearly, there are people who are in an uproar because his music is not in English, and therefore they can't understand what he's saying. I personally think it's a little bit more than just a language barrier. Well, actually, it is, but that's kind of how it started. Well, the music should be in English. As a Hispanic myself, uh, I don't even know what he says half the time. Okay. He has a very interesting way of singing or rapping that half the time I don't know what he's saying. However, of my Hispanic, I know good music. I can feel it in my bones. Okay. I can move and sway and all that stuff. He has hits, and clearly he's globally one of the most streamed artists. That needs to tell you something, right? So the fact that, yes, you can listen to music and enjoy music without knowing what is being said. Just people got their panties in a bunch, blah, blah, blah.
Absolutely.
Next is his stance that he took when hosting his concerts. So, because of the unfortunate events that are occurring due to the ICE raids, he decided that he was going to host concerts in Puerto Rico, which is where he's from, because it was a fear of his that ICE was going to raid his concerts. Why? Because it was predominantly Hispanic people going to his concerts. So, in his, I guess, way of thinking, you go to Puerto Rico, which is still part of the US, but going to Puerto Rico or hosting his concerts in Puerto Rico, I should say, was probably the safest for him and his fans, which I can see. And I think it's in a way commendable because of the growing fears of ICE and just the whole political stance that the US is in right now. It also contributes to the fact that he has pro immigrant views that are un American. Okay. And this is said by others, not myself. Anish, so far, what are you thinking?
Just going back to the first thing that you talked about with feeling the music as a Hispanic, you barely understand what he's trap rapping about. I didn't know his music was considered trap, which is tickles my spirit.
Latin trap.
Latin trap. I almost want to deep dive into just the history of Latin trap. But staying on topic, feeling the rhythm, I 100% agree with that. So you saying that
Mm.
you can feel just feel it is so real. And I definitely don't know what the hell he talking about. I might pick up a hey, yeah, whatever he's saying, and that's about it. But I completely agree with that. And that the Super Bowl is a party. It's a celebration. Halftime show is a celebration. He's there to entertain. And whether you understand him or not, it's uplifting. His music that I've heard has been uplifting. So I completely agree with that feeling that you spoke about. And as far as the ice thing, I think it's unfortunate that he felt that it came down to him needing to perform back home. And I do feel a lot of people are confused. They're proud Americans, or, maybe they're just ignorant and they don't want to accept the fact that Puerto Rico they one of us. And
Hmm.
so the ignorance that people are possessed, they're showing they're ignorant is what I'm
Exactly.
gathering. And the fact that Bad Bunny is so proud of his culture, and you can't hate anyone. How are you mad at someone for being proud of their culture just because it doesn't align with your beliefs? So
Exactly.
I commend him for doing that for his people. Dance your life away, Bad Bunny, at the halftime show. Do you, boo? So
Yeah. And, just to kind of piggyback off what you said, like the Super Bowl halftime show is entertainment. That is what it is. And a lot of people are making it more a political movement. They're coming up with their own agendas as to why Bad Bunny is there. And I mean, I don't follow politics all that much, and there could be an agenda, but there also might not be. He's probably was just chosen one because he's a highly globally streamed artist and he has the hits and the world is watching. The world watches the Super Bowl. So I don't think that the NFL did anything wrong with choosing Bad Bunny to headline the Super Bowl.
fun fact,
Now, right?
I don't want to
And
cut you off. Wait, no, I don't want to cut you off. But Jay-Z also had his hand in choosing Bad Bunny. So Let's throw in that for,
Yeah.
the rap, the king of rap, or one of
Yes.
the kings of rap.
Right. And you know what? And every year there's a controversy when it comes to Super Bowl. Last year it was Kendrick Lamar. And then
Mhm.
Lil Wayne was in an uproar because he wasn't chosen to be to headline the Super Bowl because it was in New Orleans and that's his hometown. First off, you're a Packers fan. Let's just throw that out there. And I
Mhm.
love Lil Wayne, but I don't think that was him to be entitled or for he should have felt entitled to perform in New Orleans. Next, there were before that, was it Jennifer Lopez and Shakira? So two Hispanic women who performed, and then people were in uproar about the way they dressed and it was too seductive and blah, blah, blah. That was a great show. Those two women, and I don't care whether they're Hispanic or not, they put on a great show and that was entertainment. Everything that the Super Bowl does is for entertainment purposes.
Down to
Once
the
again, do they have
commercials.
a right? It's all entertainment, but people are so quick to get so upset. Oh, well, I'm going to boycott or I'm not going to watch it, blah, blah, blah. Okay, don't. But like people were trying to like sign a petition to get Bad Bunny off of the Super Bowl. They were trying all this other stuff. There's actually some alternative additional halftime shows on other networks or platforms. So one of them being Turning Point USA, and they quoted an all American halftime show. Like, really? Really? Mind you, they still have not mentioned who's going to be performing. I just can't imagine being that artist. Like, who are you going to get? And I know there's going to be people out there who would want to perform just for exposure, but like, who are you really going to get? Because I feel like that's just such a bad look. I don't know. I don't like it. I think it's so petty and unnecessary and just trying to start stuff that doesn't need to be. Also, in case you didn't know, the president is boycotting the Super Bowl.
Yes.
Allegedly, it's due to distance. However, he has placed himself in many sporting arenas as of late for whatever reason. Maybe he's invited or he just shows up, whatever. But allegedly, due to distance, he's not going to be able to make it. The NFL also added Green Day to open the show. Now, Green Day is anti MAGA and has changed lyrics to express their anti MAGA sentiments. So clearly, Trump is not a fan of them. He's not a fan of Bad Bunny. So there's that. So you decide whether he's boycotting because of the entertainment and who the NFL chose or because of distance. Then we have Kristi Noem, who is the Homeland Security Secretary, who has threatened to have ICE agents all over the Super Bowl. And I find that hilarious because who are you really going to arrest at the Super Bowl? Have you seen the ticket prices? Hispanics are not going to be at the Super Bowl. They're going to be at home and having their carne asadas with their family and watching the Super Bowl on the big screen. That's what's going to be going down. So go ahead and send your little ICE agents to the Super Bowl. I don't know who you're going to get. It's not going to be Hispanics,
Gosh, that's wild. It's like, use that
right? Like
money for
they're
something
just
else. That's crazy. There's so much,
right.
like, come
It's
on
so
now.
crazy. And Bad Bunny, he's continuing to prepare for the Super Bowl, stating that this is for his people, for his culture, and for history. It's Latino representation in
Mhm.
American culture. Now, I can agree that it does seem contradictory to his previous stance of not performing within the United States and only having his concerts in Puerto Rico. But
I mean, there is
I
a
think in
difference
his
though, real quick, I'm
right?
sorry.
Okay.
As far as
Yeah,
just
go ahead,
like
please.
well, it's just as far as Puerto Rico. It's US territory. For the people that are going back and forth with whatever their beliefs are, like, yes, Puerto Rico is not one of the United States as far as a star on the flag, but it's US territory. You don't need a passport to go in and out of Puerto Rico. They and quite frankly, like, they can't vote for the presidency here. But again, the fact that they're US territory, I don't see why the segregation is necessary outside of the fact of the ignorance of not understanding the verbiage of how the world works. So I don't blame Bad Bunny for potentially going back and forth on what you just said right now. I don't blame him for that because, again, like just based off what you said, that he's doing it for his people in Puerto Rico. So
Yeah.
I just want to say that. Sorry.
Yeah, and it's a totally different platform. At this point, the world is watching, and he is taking a stance and showing the world what Puerto Rico is made of, what his culture represents, and just history overall for the Hispanic people. So, and it's a beautiful thing. Does it kind of contradict what he did? Maybe a little bit, but then not really. Okay, it's a totally different platform. It's not his concerts back at home. This is for the world to watch. So I think it's safe to say America's most watched sporting event is just as entertaining as it is political. So I can't wait to see what really transpires. I just know it's going to be great. And I can't wait for our next episode to talk about it.
Let's move on to another controversial topic that is happening in real time right now, which was a big surprise to a lot of people in the world, quite frankly. And I'm talking about a couple by the name of Christy Sarah, formerly Scott, and Desmond Scott. Now, if you're like, who the hell is this girl talking about? I hear you. And they are a social media couple. They're influencers. Christy Sarah has a platform on Instagram. She has a great, huge following. And her husband, Desmond, has been a part of her videos for the several years. And she filed for divorce like a couple months ago. And it took over my side of Instagram, if you will. I do follow Christy Sarah, and still I know I brought her to your attention. She's not on your side of social media.
No, she's not.
And so for those of you that don't know, she would get realistic cakes made. And one of the realistic cakes that she had made was for her husband, and it was a pair of Jordans. But it was cake. And she had it in a box. She was like, oh, I got a gift for you. She gave him the box, and it was cake shoes. And he went to pick it up, and he was, oh my gosh, it's cake. And I was like, oh, that's so funny. I want to do it to my husband. Never did it. But I followed her. I was influenced, if you will. And so the controversy is they've known each other since they were 14. They have 2 kids together. She filed for divorce in December, to be exact. And she stated on there, I want to say adultery because I go to church. I don't know the proper terminology that they say in the courts, but it was adultery. She's stating that he stepped out of the marriage. And TMZ specifically covered it. They broke the news. And that shook me to the core that TMZ broke the news. I'm like, TMZ is, we break Will Smith news. Like, not you breaking these influencers news was crazy. So with TMZ breaking the news, people were like, oh, let me investigate this couple. One of the big things that she did in her post is used her husband as a prop. And with him being a prop, a lot of people that are familiar with the couple felt that it was her fault and she just took it too far. We're talking years, at least 3 to 4 years, that she was using him as a prop. And by that, I'm just saying that he was the butt of all of her jokes. And so a lot of people just reading the comments and hearing different people discuss the topic at hand, stating that, well, yeah, I would have left too. Why didn't he leave sooner? And ignoring the fact that she said that there was infidelity. That's the word I was looking for, infidelity. And they're siding with Desmond.
I was thinking, so I know you were saying adulterer. What movie is it? I think it was an Adam Sandler movie. When he's like, yeah, just go with it. Sorry, it's so off topic. But when the little boy, he goes, adulterer, fornicator. That's all I could hear in my head.
Jennifer Aniston.
Sorry. No, it was like one of the little boys in the school. He's like, I'll be watching you, or something like that. Or that could have been freaking Monsters, Inc. I don't know. Okay, sorry. Continue.
So it's been an ongoing topic since December, since the news broke that she filed in Texas for divorce for infidelity, and she ain't getting back with him. Pretty much is the other bubble that she signed. I've never seen what divorce papers look like, but I know she feels
unreconcilable differences.
Yes. And so here we are, February, and people are still really divided on, do they side with Chrissy? This poor woman built this foundation for her family. They just built a brand new house from scratch in Texas. Beautiful home. And then 2 months later, after moving in, she files for divorce. Is it her fault because she wanted to keep using him as a butt of the joke per comment? Or is he the victim? Because he potentially had a conversation with her. Mind you, he did release a statement stating that he put divorce on the table, essentially is what he stated. And though they tried to work it out, people are assuming that she was like, no, you're the butt of my jokes. Why would I sign these divorce papers? And so he stepped out like, okay, well, then you leave me then, since you won't let me leave you. So how do you feel about all of those words I just said? And this couple,
That's a
Chrissy and
lot.
Desmond.
So I would hate to think what being someone's prop would do to someone's self esteem after so many years, especially a man and his ego, just kind of sitting there and just taking it, year after year, post after post, and seeing the comments. I think that can kind of get to you. I mean, clearly, I don't know this couple had he maybe discussed before, like, hey, I kind of want to be done with this. And she's like, nope, like, we're making money. We're building a house, like, we're gonna
Mhm.
keep going, and the fact that you said that he brought up divorce
Mhm.
and she wasn't about it for whatever reason, maybe his out, and I don't condone it, I think there's other ways to do it, but maybe his out was like, "Okay, I'm gonna publicly embarrass you for you to leave me because you're in the public eye. So if I go public with an affair or make out with this girl, whatever the case was, then you're not going to have an option to leave me or but to leave me because I just embarrassed you."
Right.
So I think it's both their faults. I think I think she could have pushed him away by having him the butt of her jokes. And I honestly, like, once again, I think people can only take so much of that type of use after a while, because I think after a while it does kind of become more like abusive. Um, and
Yeah.
it's selfish on her part, but at the same time, figure out another way to get out of your marriage because
Right.
they have kids, right? So they have
Yes,
kids.
2. They have 2 boys.
Yeah, like, what are you teaching your boys? Okay,
Yeah.
they're gonna now you're in the public eye. They're gonna see that one day.
Mhm.
How are you gonna explain that? The
Yes.
receipts are there.
Yes.
So it's
Very public.
unfortunate either way. I think these couples on social media, they have a false sense of reality. So, I mean, as do many people, I guess it's not just social media, but yeah, I don't know. That's a hard one because I don't keep up with them, but just hearing what you're saying, it just seems like they're both at fault. Maybe her more if he had brought that to the table and she was like, no. Maybe he just got desperate or needed someone else's attention. Like, I don't know. But it doesn't excuse it. It does not excuse it.
So
Uh,
ultimately, you're saying it doesn't excuse to step out on your marriage. Because I will state that in the midst of his post or comment that he did state that he made some decisions that he's not proud of. He never admitted, obviously, specifically saying like, "Yeah, I cheated on my wife and I'll do it again." Or he didn't say everything's alleged, right? But he did say he made some decisions that he's not proud of, and he apologized to his family and asked for privacy, which isn't happening at all because here we are chatting about it.
right. But okay, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought I saw that he was making out with some girl at a bar.
So he was making out of the bar, and skeptics are wondering if perhaps Chrissy received the video before she filed for divorce. And because they're very strategic, they've been moving very just organized. Their movements have been very organized. So people have been speculating that perhaps she received the video or a threat, or Desmond received a threat like, hey, we're going to expose you. And Christy was like, "Oh, okay, cool. I had a feeling you were cheating. Now I have proof. I'm going to file for divorce, and then we're just going to let the wheels fall off and see what happens." Could have been the people to expose them. And so people are assuming that the makeout session happened before she filed for divorce, but they just got ahead of it. And then TMZ was like, well, we're still going to release it, but we're just going to give you a heads up before we release it because that's how Hollywood works.
Right. But regardless, if you are someone who's in the public eye, and I'm talking about him in this instance, and you don't want people to know you're cheating, you don't go to a bar, you go to a hotel.
Right. But, and crazy thing is that the girl did say that she wasn't the one that he cheated with. Now that I just said all those words out loud, the woman made a statement saying that all parties know. That was her statement. She was like, all parties involved, Chrissy Desmond, know that she's not the woman that he stepped out. on Chrissy with.
So she's not the one that was at the bar?
She was definitely the one at the bar. Now that
So
I'm saying
regardless,
these
they were married and you made out with him,
right,
so he still cheated.
there it is. Okay, right. Even if it was after divorce filing and everything, like,
Yeah, he's
the
still
ink
married because you could always
she
change your mind and be like, "You know what? We're not gonna file after all." Like,
exactly,
you're still married.
exactly. The controversy stands. So whether you blame her, you blame him, you blame both of them, like you said, it's a sticky subject matter, and it's still ongoing. So if you tuned into that subject matter, ladies and gentlemen, go catch up. There's a lot
There's still
of
time.
yeah, there's a lot going on with it. But I wish them both many blessings on their journey as newly single individuals who they've known each other since they were 14. And so that's that.
Alright. Well, I mean, let's see. We only see what they want us to see, right? So we'll see how that goes.
Yes. Keeping that in mind.
Alright. So moving on, we are at our Sing to Me game. Yay.
Ooh, yeah.
So I am ready. I think I got you stumped, hopefully.
Mm.
Hopefully. So in case you don't know how this game goes, I am going to ask Inish a question based on lyrics from a song. The goal is not only that she knows the answer, but sings it back. Okay, there. Hence, sing to me. Okay, so Inish, I am going to read the first one. Are you prepared?
Yes.
As prepared as you're going to be, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so in If Your Girl Only Knew, after she leaves you alone, she would probably what?
To be with me, if your girl only knew, if your girl only knew that you were trying, you better believe. Is it in the chorus? If your girl, she'd probably leave you alone, and cuss you out and unplug her phone. You'll be mad that she was gone. Is that it?
Basically, it's curse you out.
What am I? Curse you out and unplug her phone. And you'll
It's
be
funny because most people was
mad.
like, really unplug her phone? Like, how old is this song?
They could unplug that landline. Don't be calling my mama out.
My God. Good times.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so
Yay.
you got that one.
Yay. Yay. Okay. Let's see. In John Legend's song featuring Andre 3000, Green Light, does John Legend have a girlfriend?
Do I have a girlfriend? Technically, no. If I had a girlfriend. I know I'm there, right?
Yes.
So technically, no.
Yes. That's the answer.
I'm ready to go right now. I'm ready to go
Go
right
right now.
now.
Yay.
Do I
Good job.
have a girlfriend? Technically,
Technically, no.
no.
Will you be my girlfriend? Well, probably. I'll make it so. Something like that.
So,
Yeah. And he asked her to be his girlfriend. Like,
oh,
okay,
yay.
calm down. Yeah, you got it right. Yay.
Okay. All right. All right. Alicia Keys sings about people searching for a fountain. What kind of fountain do people search for?
I don't even know when she sang about a fountain. New York. In New York. Is that the song? What
Wrong
song is
song.
that?
Okay, you want the song?
Please. My
If I
lifeline.
Ain't Got You.
You got me, baby. Some people wish. What do they wish for? For the fountain of youth? Feels right. I would have wrote that. It sounds too easy. Is it not the fountain of youth? Is it some people wish? Some people wish. Is it? By at least? And then I'm done. That's all. I'll some people wish you
It's
all night.
funny because your words are so close, but it's some people search for a fountain that promises forever young.
Yeah. I wouldn't have.
So you were so close with Fountain of Youth, but it was, gosh, you're so close.
In Adele's song, Rolling in the Deep, where did she say you had her heart?
You had my heart inside of your hand, and you played it with a beating. Yeah, right?
So, yes, it's
You had
her.
her, you had my, you had my heart in your hand. Yeah, you had my
Yes,
heart in your hand.
yes,
Okay.
yes, yes. Good job. 2 for 2.
Hey. You know what's funny? Because as soon as you said Adele, that's the first song that went in my head. But then when you asked the question, I was like, wait, dang, I just sang that part.
Oh, I know that's your favorite artist. Or one of your favorite
Yeah.
artists, at least. Yay, good job.
Now we're going to go into a very controversial topic for parents, specifically mothers, okay? To breastfeed or bottle feed or formula, okay? Because there is a difference between breastfeeding and bottle feeding if you're bottle feeding breast milk and bottle feeding breast milk and bottle feeding formula.
That's a
So,
tongue twister.
did it make sense? Why do some women willingly choose to not breastfeed knowing the many benefits it provides? So, as someone who had a very interesting delivery with her first child, so me,
What? Who? What?
one of the reasons that mainly struggled in general was that my son was born prematurely at 26 weeks, in the NICU for 2 months. I'm not going to go too deep into that episode, but needless to say, I couldn't breastfeed him. I couldn't put him to my nipple to feed. Nurses were supportive. It was a very traumatic experience, but they were very adamant at me pumping, and I did. And he was fed through a tube. And then when he was about a month and a half, they tried to see if we would breastfeed. And he was just so tiny. It just wasn't happening. I wasn't connected. So I just continued to pump. And I did that for about 5 months, even after he came home from the hospital. I pumped. We did have to supplement with formula because of how small he was. And even then, I still got some side eyes, like, why are you giving him formula? Blah, blah, blah. He needs breast milk. Well, maybe because he's 5 pounds and he's 4 months now. So each woman has their own journey when it comes to breastfeeding, bottle feeding, formula. With my daughter, after she was born, she was also a C section, not emergency. And here comes the nurses again. Now, mind you, the nurses are great, but their job is to push breastfeeding like nobody's business. Just breastfeed, breastfeed, breastfeed. And she latched and it was fine for a little bit, but it hurt so bad. I was in so much pain. I was sweating. And she was on me for an hour when I was in the hospital, just sucking on me. And I was just there in pain, sweating. And finally, the nurse comes in and she's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "No." She's still freaking eating. I'm in so much pain. I was just dripping sweat. And she was like, "Okay, she's probably done." But later that night, they're like, "Oh, she lost weight. She must have been on your breast too long. She's working out whatever muscles, lost some ounces." So then I had to stay an extra day. That night, the nurse tried to get me to breastfeed again, and I told her to get out of my face. I was like, "I'm not going to breastfeed her. Bring me a pump. I'm going to pump and I'm going to watch to see how much she eats," because she was on my breast for an hour and lost weight. So I did have to advocate for myself and the baby because God knows what pain I would have went through. God knows how much weight she would have continued to lose. And I told them it's not just for me. And then they brought in the lactation nurse and they brought this person. No, I know what I'm doing. I'm going to pump. And that man sitting right there, and I pointed to my husband, it's going to help me feed her. Because when you're breastfeeding exclusively, you can't get any help. And I wasn't about that life. And no shade to any women who wants to exclusively breastfeed. That's amazing that you could do it. I couldn't. I couldn't stand the pain. And then it just wasn't something I was willing to do and not get help with. And so thank you, nurses, but no thank you. I'm going to do this my way. And it worked out great. And eventually, I think after about maybe 7 or 8 months with my daughter, I stopped. I just really, really wasn't producing. And I went to formula. And it is what it is. But, you still get that shame and that guilt. Oh, well, it's better for her or him. And, formula's so bad and it has all this stuff. Okay, thank you. But it's my decision. And some people are just so quick to give that unsolicited advice. I didn't even ask. So, mamas, new mothers, do you. Do what feels right to you. And if you don't want to breastfeed or you only want to breastfeed, it's fine. Don't let other people influence you because you know what you're going through. And there's so much that goes into it. It's not just putting a baby to your breast, it's your mental health, it's how you're feeling, it's hormones, it's everything. So please just don't let people and their opinions get to you. Do what you need to do. And this has been a controversy for as long as I can remember, just pushing the breastfeeding on women when maybe they're just not there.
Right.
Anish, how do you feel about it? I know you also have experience with this.
Yes, I guess I've had the opposite experience than you. I'm not a breastfeeder pusher though. I'm not, whip your tit out, put it in that baby's mouth. I'm not, do you? As long as the baby's getting fed, as long as the baby is meeting their weight goals, that's all that matters. I was a formula fed baby. And look at this queen before you. So both of my kids are breastfed. My firstborn was breast milk fed through a bottle. He did not latch. He would suckle for an appetizer, but he would get his main course through the bottle. That was very upsetting to me as I wanted to be I had so many plans for birth. Several episodes ago, I mentioned being a free parenting. Oh, I'm a free vibes, but not tree hugging, which the irony of what I'm going to say next is giving tree hugging because I wanted to birth at home. I wanted to have a pool in my parents' living room and birth all my children. I'm not even kidding. But God had other plans, and that just wasn't the path that I was to take upon. And so when it came to feeding, I wanted to nurse. I had a plan like, okay, God, you took control of that. I have control of my breast. But my baby had other plans. And so he latched, but it wasn't an aggressive latch enough to fill his little belly. So I had to excrete the milk from my breast, put it in a bottle, and feed him. With my second born, complete opposite, and he is full blown breastfed. And I was able to finally get that experience that I almost regret because I'm like, they're both doing great. This is crazy. But yeah, I think it's so stupid. I think mom shaming, feeding shaming, breast, that's why we have breasts, is to feed. Everybody's body's different. We all live completely different lives. So do you. Don't let anyone tell you how you should take care of your child. The people that are out there stating, oh, you have to breastfeed. Are you going to be in the bed with me when I wake up every 2 hours to whip my tit out to feed him? Like, no, I can't remember the last time I had a full night's sleep without nursing. It's hard, it's difficult. I don't blame.
And then, God forbid, you try to breastfeed in public. I know moms who've been shamed for that. Like, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't.
Right, you
Like,
have
you want
to
me to breastfeed, but don't do it in public.
yeah, they want you to
Like, even with
properly
the wrap
cover up.
on.
Makes people uncomfortable. But I
Like,
will
you came out of
say
your mom's vagina.
we all did.
Let's talk
Or
about that.
stomach, we came out of somewhere. Stomach, vagina.
Okay, came out of your mom's body, but most out of the vagina.
Excuse me, so yeah, no, I think it's just the opposite of what we should be doing. We should be uplifting and instead of you're judging and bringing people down. Again, I'm not judging my mom, like, "How dare you not put me to your breast, mother?" That's crazy as hell, and she's not
Right.
judging me like, "Oh, not you putting that my grandbaby to your breast." Like, my mom she doesn't know what my mom's honest as hell. She's like, "Girl, like, I can't help I don't know how to touch your boob or how to help you put the boob in the baby's mouth. You are on formula." And I don't care. This controversy is annoying. This discussion is
It
annoying.
sure is. That should be something that no one has to deal with or put up with people shaming. You just had a baby.
Yeah, it's
Like if
crazy.
you can get that noise out of here, like do
Yes.
it. Don't be afraid to put people in their place. Like
Yeah,
I said no, that's it. Well, this is what I'm gonna
that's
do. That's it. Get out my face, respectively. Get out of my face.
no,
All right. So, whether the controversies on the football field, social media, or on your own chest, there's controversies everywhere, and you just got to pick and choose your battles. Do your research, make your own decisions, and see what comes of it.
So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning into another episode. If you're not following us on any of our platforms, please find us, like, subscribe, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and any other platform you can think of. We are there. We appreciate all of the support and hope that you leave a comment and we see you.
Or send us a text and we will see it and hopefully shout you out. Just got to press that button or that link on the screen when you look at the episode and shoot us a message. Thank you for listening to Pouring and Parenting. Me off when you said, like, thank you for tuning